Welcome to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast, where we unlock the power within and navigate the journey of your self-discovery together. I'm Shaz, your spiritual mentor and life coach, here to help you tap into your inner guidance system and manifest your best life. Whether you're just beginning your spiritual journey or looking to deepen your practice, this podcast offers insights, techniques, and inspiration to elevate your consciousness and transform your reality. Get ready to shine your light and embrace your true potential. Remember, the answers are inside you. Let me be your guide on earth. Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Spiritual Awakening with podcast with Shaz. Last week, and it is only just last week, I got home from my holiday to New Zealand. So I took a cruise with some friends because it was my best friend's daughter's 18th birthday, and we decided to go to New Zealand for a holiday to the South Island. I had such a great time. And on the Thursday when we arrived home, a few months before, during the middle of my Shine with Shaz program, one of the classes decided to book tickets to go and see Oprah. Now, it's been a bucket list item of mine for many years now because Oprah was a massive catalyst in my life and part of my spiritual awakening journey when I was 16, and set about this whole healing journey, which is a whole nother episode and lifestyle I'm not going to go into today. But going to see her and experience her energy, even in a room in a stadium full of 8,500 plus women and men, predominantly women, mind you, but there are a certain number of men in the audience as well who all came to see and hear Oprah. Now, I wish I got to meet her. I have since talked to a dear client of mine who works behind the scenes at some events, and she actually got to meet her and shake her hand. And as I talk about it, I get chills from it because it's so, so special. And she has this phenomenal energy, and energy speaks to me on different levels. And the mindset and the beliefs that she holds really align with who I am. So today's episode is about teaching you 10 lessons that Oprah helped me with and how she changed my life. So for this event, my friends Alex and Michelle joined me. We went into the ICC, had dinner at Darling Harbour earlier, and then we got to go and see her. Our seats were midway back, but we had a great view. You could see her and Melissa Doyle on the stage, and the energy in the room was so vibrant. The frequency was so high. It was visceral. Your whole body could feel it. Tingles everywhere. For more than 2 hours straight, the deepest part of my soul was invested. At the very beginning, I took a video of the introduction. And normally when I'm at events or even different events, I'll take pictures or be invested on my phone. I was simply invested in the energy and frequency. And I sat there gobsmacked, staring at her, just listening to her speak and tell her stories. Now, this is a woman that in a room full of thousands of people can make you feel like she's just talking to you. This felt like a private one-on-one conversation. And I can tell you, a lot of the things that she talked about over the years, I've embodied and embraced, and it's changed my identity to become who I am. She's been one of the mentors that taught me many things. I followed other beautiful coaches and public speakers and change makers in this world who uplifted me with their stories. And this episode, to see her in person, the only other two people I truly want to see in person that I believe would have the same impact on me would be Lisa Nichols and Steve Harvey, because they have changed my life viscerally ever since I stepped into this true essence of who I am. I walked into this venue feeling happy, excited, and inspired, and I literally walked out a different woman. She anchored into me so much more certainty, so much more clarity, and certainly being more awake. Now, not long after that, I'm going through an ascension flu, which you may or may not hear in my voice, and I've had a couple of days where I'm not feeling the greatest. But at the same time, I have this buzzing feeling beneath my skin that I'm energetic. I've been in a creative mode. I have so many ideas. I've got plans coming from everywhere. There is so much beautiful energy as we close down this 9-year and step into this one. So today I want to share with you 10 of the biggest lessons that she taught us. Now, this list could be 100 long practically because she had so many powerful insights, but these were the 10 that spoke to me the most. So I feel that every woman and even every man would want to hear what these lessons are. And I'm going to give you her version and my take on them. So it's going to be a combination of what she said and how I interpret it and how it shows up in my own personal life. And I hope that you need to hear this, and this will help you in your own awakening of getting through your own bullshit and transform your journey. Are you ready to get with it with me? Number one, this first lesson is really funny because I went through massive trauma in order to understand this lesson, but I so get it now. So when she talked about it, it was like the catalyst of, oh my God, yes, this is so true. If in your personal circle, your greatest friends, your family, your like loyal clients or whoever it may be in the circle around you, if anyone gets jealous of who you are, what you're doing, and are no longer supportive of you, if they try and pull you down or make negative comments or want to be you, they're actually not your circle. Now, as I said, this one hit me hard because when I lost everything, people I thought were in my circle betrayed me. And it was devastating to me. And I had so much work to do to clear it, heal it, and to rise again. But when you know who's in your circle, yes, some people will want to do some of what you're doing, but still support you doing it. But anyone that gets jealous and wants to copy you and rips off your ideas, they're actually not your circle. They're not there for you. You need to surround yourself with better people. And when you do, you rise, you grow, and you actually go after better opportunities. Your real circle will support you, celebrate you, cheer you on, and be excited as you are for everything that you're doing. If they start getting weird or pulling back or making snarky comments and quietly hoping that you don't outshine them, that's not friendship. That's insecurity in a big way. Now, that insecurity is their problem. It's not about you. It's actually something where their ego gets in the way, and we can go into negative talks and positive talks about the ego factor in life. But real positive women who are on the same frequency or above will help you rise. Anyone below will want to pull you down. I want you to have a look at your circle. I want you to take notice of all the people around you and ask yourself the question, are they here blowing me up, supporting me to rise? Or are they below, pulling me back down, hoping that I'll fail? And then please take note the first couple of times they do it. As she said, you don't need 29 references for you to learn the lesson, because if you don't learn it early, you are doomed to repeat it. And trust me, it gets harsher and harsher and harsher. I do remember I saw signs in the problems that I had, and I just didn't take note of them because I really believed they weren't like that. And I really believed that they were better than I gave them credit for. Your growth shows who you are. And it shows up very quickly in who they're not when they try and pull you down. And the true act of self-love and power can sometimes be walking away. It is the first spiritual act of self-respect and self-worth. The old-fashioned adage, you fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I'll give certain leeways and a little bit of leverage and rope, but if you push my boundaries and you do things wrong to me, I will cut and run. This is a hard line in the sand for me, because I know if I keep forgiving it and getting over it and giving you chances after chances after chances, the betrayal will become massive. And that's not who I want to be. That's not my identity. That's not who I choose to be. I choose to be better. This leads into the second big lesson. And she said it just so eloquently. And it's something I've been teaching to a couple of my clients at the moment because they're having people do it. And it's simply when someone shows you who you are, who they are, like when they show you who they are by what they say, what they do, how they behave, believe them the first time. Okay? This is something that I definitely learnt the lesson hard ways on. And I pray and uplift other people and share my journey so I hope they don't have to go through it. And as she said, you don't need 29 versions or 30 or 100 or however many versions of the same behavior before you get the message. At the moment, I've been going through some social media because I had a 2-week detox and I wasn't available because I chose no internet on my cruise. It was brilliant. And every second post is, I had a fight with my partner and they said this and this happened and that happened and now I don't know what to do. Well, when they show you what they really mean, okay, most truth rises out of anger. You want to know what someone really thinks of you? Trigger them to the point they lose their shit and the truth will come out. They've just been biting their tongue until then. And when the truth comes out and they tell you what they really feel about you, you then have to decide, is that who you are? Are you taking responsibility for what they're saying because that's the way you've behaved and you can grow and change? Or are you going to believe them and choose to go, no, I don't need people like that in my life? And always remember their judgment of you is also a reflection of themselves. Okay, so when someone dismisses you, treats you poorly, ignores your needs, or only shows up when it benefits them, I want you to believe what you're seeing. Actions speak much louder than words. Okay, look around your circle and ask yourself, are they there for you the same way you are for them? Can't tell you how many times I've had clients come for a reading, and when I tell them that they've got a sabotage or a toxic relationship, and they'll go, I'm always there for my friend and I always show up. And yet anytime I need help, they're few and far between. Or they tell me I'm too needy or any excuse under the sun. Okay? Do not override red flags. And stop falling in love or accepting potential in another person. You have to accept them as they are, not as what you think they can be. You can't fix somebody else. You are not a savior. It's not your role. They need to save or change themselves. The biggest issue I find with women, and especially women that come to Shine with Shaz, is they all fall in love with potential. Oh, I can see great potential in him. And if he just did this, this would be so much better. They don't change. They don't grow up. They don't magically become the version that you need. It doesn't work. Healing is to learn to trust your first knowing and believe your own signs and synchronicities. They happen to you for a reason. Lesson number 3, the power of 8,500 plus people wanting the same thing. I was genuinely humbled by the amount of people in this room because this is like 8,500 people minimum. And I know lots of people that missed out. This was just the crowd in Sydney who are right in my niche, in my lifespan of the people I want to help, who are the audience I want to talk to, and who are the same frequency and vibration that I radiate, who want to help and change the world. These were all women hungry for healing, truth, self-awareness, connection. It made me realize how big this movement is becoming. And it also made me realize that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. It's not a small niche anymore. Women are waking up all over the planet. There were 8,500 plus Sydney-siders at this one event for someone amazing. They're wanting answers, they want peace, they want purpose. And I hope to be able to be of service to them. I hope to be able to help them. This is my love, to help women rise. Because collectively, when we all rise up together, we can change the world. These are the people that I work with and want to work with every single day. These are the people that I meet. On my cruise, I met some amazing women. We had some fantastic conversations. And I have met a couple of kindred spirits that I know I'm going to be friends with for a very long time. As a matter of fact, one of them messaged me just right before I'm recording this, and it just makes my heart sing. To see this surge of humanity awakening, rising, and becoming fills my soul. It's that such a fire within me. And even though I don't feel 100% today, I'm here. I'm ready to rise up. I'm ready to be who I know I can be to help others. And trust me, as I looked around that room, I could see that same fire, that same light in thousands of others. And it just makes my heart sing. Lesson number 4. This one, when Oprah said it, I literally felt it in my bones. Every human wants one thing: to be seen and heard. I did a reading with a client yesterday, and I told her that she met someone that finally sees and heard her, and she has a new friend, and they do, and the difference it makes in your life when you are surrounded by people that see you for you, that hear you for who you are, someone that understands you and loves you exactly as you are, that accepts you, warts and all. Nobody's perfect. I'm certainly not. I make mistakes constantly, but I endeavor to learn from them every step of the way. I'm rising and flowing and going through different things each time, but I learn. I take personal responsibility and I embrace those lessons with the grace of God inside of me. Being seen is not about attention. It's not about recognition. It's the nervous system finally exhaling and accepting that someone really sees us and gets us. Like meeting my friend on this cruise and someone that just got me, and we talked for hours and hours and hours on different subjects, and it was fantastic. And even on the weekend, I went and connected with a client that I had seen a while back just to check on her, and met some of her friends. And after what we were doing, we sat there for 2.5 hours chatting. And you don't even realize how fast the time goes of just experience, of spiritualism, of identity, of mindset, of growing and rising and becoming better. And the ideas that flowed. And then to have her come and tell me a dream that she had about my next phase of life. I even went to spiritual church the other day and I got told in a reading a vision that I hadn't had time to process. So much greatness. I'm so excited for this year to come. And this part of why seeing how people react when they're no longer invisible, and that's a personal one for me. For many years, really before I started my business back in 2013, I've been doing spiritual courses and going to do different things, all at different teachers all around the world since I was 22, 23 years old. I'm now 52. I turn 53 next year. So for 30 years, I've been in this industry surrounded by these people. Up until about 10 years ago, maybe 15 tops, but 90% of them didn't know who I was. I was invisible. I got told by a dear connection and a friend that, you finally got rid of your cloak of invisibility. I was never seen because I wanted to hide back. My self-worth and my self-esteem did not want to be noticed in this crowd. I didn't want to feel that I mattered. I didn't feel that I belonged. I wasn't enough in my own head. And when I started to work on that, embrace that, and own my identity, own my connection to Source God and the knowledge in my head, I still wonder every day where that knowledge comes from. I got no idea. I do actually. It comes from God. It comes from the universe. It comes from Source. It comes from Spirit. It's not all learned. It's collective consciousness. And that made me finally feel seen. And it definitely made me feel heard. And today we have this podcast. And this is how I got born, because I was finally heard for what I had to say. Helping women remember their worth and actually feel it is all in my soul's work. I always tell people, you will never have a conversation with me and walk away feeling lesser. You'll never come to a session, have a reading or a healing, and walk out feeling worse than when you got here. You will feel lighter, you will feel freer, you will feel uplifted. I am a great cheerleader. I love it. I support other people. I uplift other people, not because of any other reason than I want to see them be the best version of them, not anybody else, them that they can be. Because I believe when we all rise up, we can change the world, and it's getting better daily. Number 5, this one also hit me in the gut because I've struggled with weight all my life, and Oprah has too. And this lesson was, obesity is a disease. It's not a moral failing. She said with such power that statement. Pretty much the room quietened down and looked around, and there were all of us larger people looking and going, what? Everyone thinks losing weight's about willpower or problems. And I know from my own journey, it's not quite true. I do believe it has genetics in it, and I know trauma affects it, and I know hormones affect it, and my hormones are screwed, but we're working on that. Stress affects your weight, shame affects your weight, many different things affect your weight. When she first started out, she was talking about an interview she went and had, and the name's on the tip of my tongue. Is it Joan Rivers? Sorry. What is that lady's name? I can see her face, just couldn't see the name. She had an interview with Joan Rivers, and she asked her live on TV, like, what are you doing about the weight, or why are you overweight? What are you going to do about it? And shamed her as a 20-something-year-old because she was a larger person. And she spoke openly about the shame that she suffered in her career early on, and the yo-yo dieting, the judgment of self and from others, her internal battles. And the moment she realized it's not weakness, it's actually biology, it's trauma, and it's life. And sometimes we need doctors to help us. That's why there are now different ways to help you lose weight. The ironic part is when you do go see a doctor, a professional for help, the shame associated with that right now, it's so disheartening. It is quite disgusting. And I'm praying that it actually gets better. Yes, you can work on it hard and willpower makes a difference, but there are different aspects that do need to change. And it was refreshing to hear such honesty in a world that constantly blames and shames people about it. And to see someone that struggles so hard become who and what she is. She's really into hiking. She walks over 10 Ks a day. She was also telling us that she was born in a place called Kosciuszko. And so someone said, do you know Australia has a Mount Kosciuszko? So she's going to hike the summit of it. And there are apparently videos out there. You could go look them up. I haven't seen them yet. As I said, I haven't been well for a couple of days. But it's on my list to go and have a look at it. But I love the same thinking of, oh my God, that's a name that we know, and I've got to go there. When we were in Dunedin, we were passing a bus and it had St. Clair on it, and I was with my friend Carol. And she lives in St. Clair, and there's one in Dunedin. And then there was this beautiful sign of Edinburgh, and that's where she was born. So we took a photo of that too. Now, lesson number 6, and this one surprised some people, is Oprah wasn't always confident. She was naive and she was bullied. Very early on in her career, she believed she wasn't pretty enough, good enough, strong enough. And people said some things that genuinely broke her spirit. Some of the things she shared with us were shocking because they were quite disgusting. She was very naive about manipulation. She was naive about power dynamics. She didn't understand how cruel some people could be. And in that industry, most people just say what they think and not worry about anybody else. They have opinions, and half of them aren't even aligned with their own true beliefs and will make judgments on things that they don't even live the walk or walk the talk that they're talking about. But in her naivety, she allowed herself to hold out hope. She stayed anchored in her self-belief, and she rose within herself without becoming hardened. And this part truly got me because I got it. I lived it. And for my 20s and 30s, the trauma from my childhood turned me into a person that I quite frankly didn't like. I was angry all the time. I was judgmental and critical about people. I was judgmental and critical about myself, worst of all. But all of the problems that I suffered through in life, they shaped me into who I am now. You can break down, be broken, and heal from it. And I've overcome so much already. Things like growing up in a narcissistic parental home. My mother and my brother made it openly known they did not want me. This hurt me on so many levels. It created so much trauma. It took years to get over it. And thank God every single day that I have recovered and healed from it. It made me angry. And it turned me into a carbon copy of my mother, and I hated myself for it. Hated myself for it. But I rose through that. And the sexual abuse, the chronic illnesses, the failing at life, the loss of jobs, the rise of things, the failed relationships, the CPTSD that I didn't even understand what it was. And when I got diagnosed with that, the doctor told me, I told him, isn't that what like people get from war? And he goes, yep. And yours is worse than theirs. And I didn't even know, but my CPTSD manifested in such a way, I had a hiccup spasm in my body for 10 months because of unhealed trauma. I had to work through all of that. And it took me years to overcome it fully, but I did because I learned to love myself. And all of that shaped me into who I am now. And I have risen into the power of my identity. I am Shaz Senior. I am exactly who I am. I love who I am right now. And I grow daily. I learn daily. Anytime someone triggers me, my first response is thank you, because it's a layer of my onion. I get to heal. I get to shift. I get to evolve. I get to uncover aspects of my shadow, of the inner self, and become really who I am. Lesson number 7, and this was one of my favorites because it's something that I've lived by for a lot of years right now, and that is intention is everything. It was one of the strongest messages of the night for me because intention isn't something that you do, it's who you are. I set intentions daily. I wake up daily asking, how can I be of service and what do I need to learn today? That is my intention. How can I show up for other people? What can I contribute to the world? What can I share that's going to make a difference? And as long as one person out there hears what I have to say, my heart is filled. Okay? Your intention isn't necessarily something you do, it's who you are. And who I am is someone that wants to inspire, uplift, and help someone else in any way I can. Sometimes it involves creating like podcasts or videos or content online. Sometimes it's creating different products and processes. I now have to write a book that I've got to get my head around, but we'll get there. Okay, sometimes it's just going out and being polite to the cashier, going to listen to a stranger, going to have a conversation with an old person in the shops. One of my favorites. Just go and say hello to someone as you walk past and see what happens for them. Okay, your intention is the energy that you bring into the room, into your relationships, into your business, into your dreams. Okay, for my dreams, Steve Hartman, you taught me this. I have a 300 list. And my 300 list is now up to 389. I started a few years ago because 89 of those things on my bucket list sort of thing, I've crossed off. And every time I cross one off and say thank you for it, I had new ones. 89 new experiences, products, growth potentials, 89 new things that I've done. And it's really great to look back on it because it shows you growth and shows you success when you do question, well, what have I done for the last 9 years or however many years since I started this? Fucking lot. It's amazing. I love it. And I think you should do it too, right? I reckon everyone should do this thing. Okay? Your intention is what you bring into a conversation. Are you there to harm and hurt? Or are you there to solve problems, uplift someone, make them feel great, see things from a different perspective, and give them the answers that they're seeking? The one thing you can't do is fake intention. Stands out a mile. You either mean it or you don't. It's that simple. Every morning, I want you to ask, what is my intention for today and how am I going to show up? That will literally shape your reality. It will change everything within you. And you deserve it, and so do the people around you. Number 8. This one, seriously, I've been talking about this in Shine with Shaz, and I loved it. And I'm like, finally, someone else gets the message I'm sharing, okay? We suffer through identities that don't belong to us. Now, identities, archetypes, labels. Don't get me started on labels. I fucking hate them. So many people out there, I want to be diagnosed as ADHD or I want to be on the autism spectrum because it will explain bad behavior. I want to get a diagnosis for this. That just puts you in a box. We don't belong in boxes. Yes, we go through identities, and no, it does not mean you have multiple personality or identity disorder. You have an identity as a baby. When you're born, you can't talk, you can't walk, you can't feed yourself, you can't do anything for yourself. You are totally reliant on your parents or someone to support you through life. You are totally codependent. And that lasts to about 18 months old. And then you want to become totally independent. Try and help a 2-year-old with their clothes, right? 2 different identities. Are they the same person, the same child? Yes, they are. At first, you can't read and write. Then you can. You get educated. These are all parts of your identity. Some of the identities that we become, the strong one, the one that has to be there for everyone else, the rock. We all have to do that at times. The fixer, usually the empath. They want to change everything, fix everything, and just make it all better. Doesn't always work. The good girl, the one that does nothing wrong. The bad girl, the one that wants to step outside and wants to buck the system and wants to cause trouble. We all go through it. The responsible one, the people pleaser, the quiet one, the reserved one, the watcher. They're all different aspects of self. Sometimes you become the everything to everyone else but yourself. And that's not a good one either. None of these are actually who you are. They don't define you. They are just identities, archetypes, periods that you walk through. You can come up as the powerful one. You can come up as the educator. You can come up as the leader, the follower, the fun one, the crazy one, the weird one. One of my favorite sayings in life is, there's always a weird one in the group, and if you don't know who it is, it's definitely you. I'm the weird one. Okay? You can spend decades wearing identities that other people assign to you. I was angry. I was bitchy. I was rude. I was blunt. I was horrible. I was stupid. I didn't know lots of things, apparently. It wasn't until I met my true self and understood exactly who I was that I stopped performing. I stopped trying to be what everybody else wanted to be. I'm quirky, I'm crazy, I'm cheeky, I'm fun. Yes, I'm blunt, I'm rude. I'm spiritual in all things. I'm direct, I tell the truth. If you don't like it, not my problem. But that's part of my awakening journey. That's the identity that I embrace. My biggest identity is I've always wanted to be it. I told you when I was a child I wanted to be a teacher. That teacher is now a coach. It's an inspirational leader. It's a podcast host. And he's someone that wants to share knowledge with the world. And that's what I want to do. I want to teach you to be better. I want to teach you to rise. I want to teach you to own who you are and become the best version of you that you can. Nobody else can do it for you. Lesson number 9. This one truly amazed me because you would look at Oprah and not think that she was like that. But people pleasing nearly cost her her power. When she was doing her Oprah show, she had to interview people that didn't align with her, and like she was doing interviews with people, and I can't remember the full references of them, but it just literally made her feel sick to her stomach. She admitted openly how this affected her, and the moment that her life changed when she stopped being everything to everyone else, when she started saying no, when she started enforcing her boundaries, honoring her own needs, and stopped trying to impress and appease people who weren't her people. She stood up to people that she probably wouldn't be able to do. But she found her intention, she found her integrity and her authenticity. And this is where most people lose themselves, but she found her power and it returned to her. And it just made who she is. And you can too. When we get into people-pleasing mode, the only people we please is everyone else. It actually doesn't please us in any way, shape or form, because we feel taken advantage of, used, regretful. It creates a misalignment with our own inner power, our own inner worth, and our own inner being. We turn into a doormat, and nobody wants to be that. But usually we do it because we want to fit in, we want to be accepted, we want to be seen by other people. It actually makes it worse. You'll be more seen and heard when you own your power, own your voice, know who you are, stand up for who you are, not what somebody tells you to be. Rise above that, because your power truly only returns the moment you stop abandoning yourself. I say this all the time. You are number one. Fill your cup first. You can't service anyone else until you fill your own cup. And this last one was absolutely my favorite lesson. And she just said it in a way that just makes sense, right? Yes. You know, when we say yes to something, have you ever had an idea and you know you want to do something and you're like, yes, let's go. This is a whole body feeling. It's not logical. It's not analytical. It's not a pros and cons list. It is a visceral feeling in your body. Your cells get involved. When it happens to me, and even as I'm talking about it, I get tingles, I get acknowledgement, I get excitement, I get energy and frequency. You know, yes, you feel it. That excitement rises, energy flows up. It moves quickly through your body. You want to take action. You get invested in it and you are highly activated. You know it. And when you do it. But when something comes up and you hesitate and you analyze and you pros and cons list, okay, if you ever have to get down to the pros and cons of doing something or asking yourself, should I? Then, honey, that's a no. Okay? Don't do it. This past week, I've had an idea that I wanted and I had the whole yes feeling in my body. My only question was, what type or brand of the product that I wanted was it? I know I wanted the item. I didn't know the details. That's where the research comes in. That's where more articulation comes. That's where we ask questions. But if you ever have to ask somebody else's opinion, then you're not really invested in it. One of the greatest heartbreaks that I've seen, and as I've told you before, my cousin owns some bridal salons in Melbourne. And the most disheartening thing you can see is a bride that comes out in her dress. She walks different. She's confident. She radiates joy. She loves it viscerally. That yes is there in her body. And she comes outside and her mother or her bridesmaid or her sister, I don't like it. And you watch the light fade. Have you ever watched an excited light fade out of someone? And what happens is they took her power away from her. And it breaks my heart. It kills my soul And it definitely just makes me feel so empty. Never give your great ideas and your big yeses when you know something viscerally in your body. Never, ever let anyone talk you out of it, make you feel small, or say no. This is where I like to tell them to fuck off. Okay? Watching someone nitpick something, and trust me, the moment that bride decides to follow their wishes, I will tell you straight up, her wedding day will be hell. Nothing will ever make them happy. They will always complain. That is being surrounded by people, as we went back in the list, that don't support you, that want to pull you down. Okay? It's not about, no, it didn't suit her. She looked phenomenal. And trust me, when you don't look good in a dress, I'm going to be the first to be honest and say no. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you where it doesn't fit straight. I'll tell you why it doesn't shape the body well. Because we're honest like that. But I want you to trust your body. It is absolutely the barometer of the soul. It is the communicator with everything. Your body is the one thing that never really lies to you. That gut instinct, that instant knowing within yourself. It knows. It's your mind, and your mind is usually processed and shaped by fed information and usually judgment and criticism of other people. How many times does that let you down? Your body knows the truth instantly. Trust it. I know when I want to do things, I'll say yes and then work out the details later. 95% of the time, it always works out great. And if it gets pivoted or diverted, it's usually because I got told something and I didn't listen and I tried to do it my own way. Much like this podcast episode. Okay? I was going to record another episode and I tried it twice and the fuck, it didn't work. And then I got a message and a text from someone right as I was about to record, and they reminded me about going to see Oprah, and I go, oh, that's what I meant to do this week. Because as I said, I haven't been well and I wasn't fully with it. But that's how I listen to myself. I follow the signs. When things don't work out, that's telling you to pay attention. When things go missing, that's telling you to wake up and look around the now, be present in the moment. And this is part of what Oprah taught me, and it opened up something new in me. And not because any of this was new. Some of it was a little bit more eye-opening, but it was just different, like perception of many things that I'd already known. She really did remind me of things that I did already know. But her energy, just who she is, a woman who knows who she is. Do you know how magnetic that is? Melissa Doyle was interviewing her on the stage, and Melissa has the same vibration, and it was just beautiful. The coexisting energy of it was blissful. Okay? These women own their identity. They stand in them truths, and they stand up for themselves, and they won't shrink for anyone. And I want you to be like that too. My only wish for people, and women especially, listening to this episode is please find your own identity. Rise up to become who you are. You are beautiful inside and out in every which way that you can. And yes, you grow. Yes, you evolve. Yes, you become more. You change. You mold yourself. Because if we don't continue to grow, we die. That's life. Okay, your identity is going to change and grow and become so much more. One changes daily. Sometimes can't keep up. But know who you are. Listen to your heart. Pay attention to your soul. Have deep conversations with yourself. And if you struggle to do it with self, reach out and let me have a conversation with you. I have a free 30-minute clarity call. We can talk about anything. I can give you direction, posts, or I can create certain episodes for you. I can help you find the way. All you have to do is ask. And mostly surround yourself by beautiful friends. I had a gorgeous night with Michelle and Alex, and they're not normally two people that I hang out with as much as some of my other deep friends, but it was such a beautiful, special moment, and I got so much gratitude from being in that room. And I thank Michelle with every essence of my heart because she's the one that told me. I didn't even know she was coming because I don't really pay attention. But being able to absorb that wisdom, that energy, that vibration was phenomenal. If you ever get the chance to go see someone, or someone that inspires you shows up in our country or wherever you need to travel, go do it. Do it. Proximity activates purpose. Get in the room with the people you admire. Fill your life with people above you who you want to become, who you want to be like, not in an obsessive stalker way, but who will help you grow and remember who you are. I also want you to remember you're not broken. You are remembering who you really are. That is part of the awakening process. You are you. You are God's source light energy, an amazing, wonderful piece of humanity. And humanity in itself is this magnificent creation. And you are here for purpose, have a reason, and you are here to shine. I hope this episode resonated with you, and please share it with anyone who needs to hear it. I do thank you for listening to me ramble on about it today. And until next time. Thanks for listening to the Spiritual Awakening with Shaz podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on Facebook with the links below. Until next time, trust your intuition and let your spirit soar.